Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Your Little Castle Show. We're so excited to have people who are just not just living and breathing in our community and generating work and hiring people, but also doing things to improve the community and doing events. We're going to talk a little about an event here that Billy Berry has put together here. This is Berry Construction Roofing and Storm Repair. Billy Berry, the owner and founder of Berry Construction. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you, Carter. Thanks for having me.
Well, we kind of just scour the community a little bit, look for those people who are making a difference. We've been fortunate to connect with some great business owners and some great sponsors. So with that, you can see on the TV wall behind us, both walls, we've got Your Little Castle sponsored by Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things. Where do you like those nice things? In a nice house that's been built for you or repaired for you or upgraded for you by a company like Billy's company here, Berry Construction. And thank you, Carroll House, for being a sponsor. With that, let's jump in.
I was going to say something really quick
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
that because
Yeah.
you said Carroll House. I just remodeled my house, and all of my furniture came from Carroll House.
There
How
you go.
about that?
Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think not. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is great. So yeah, Carroll House, the premier name. We just did some upgrades to a house we have in Fayette, Missouri. And Victorian home, and next to it is a carriage house, if you will. And they used to call it a carriage house. And it's been apartments for a long time. A storm came through, pipes blew, covered by insurance, thank goodness. And we decided, we went to a local, 25 minutes away was a furniture store we won't name, but they were nice. And then I just went over to my buddy Brooke, and I'm like, what's our options? And they just gave us a better deal and better service, and everything turned out better. So we're even shipping our furniture 2.5 hours away, Fayette, Missouri, if you're familiar with Fayette, Missouri.
Yeah. Well, you got some great furniture from them, and the service was pretty darn good.
Well, with that, yeah, shout out there to Brooke and Amy, his sister. Thanks, you guys, for being a sponsor of the show. Tell me then, if you will, Billy, what is it that got you into this industry? Why did you decide that you wanted to get involved with construction?
Well, my oldest brother had a roofing company, not a roofing company, a construction company. He did some roofing, did some siding, he did some things like that. He did a lot of interior work, and I worked for him as a young man. And I loved it. I picked up my family and moved to St. Louis area about 1999 or 2000.
Okay.
After doing in business a couple of years myself in Kentucky, and then moved here and been in it ever since.
And so, you're close to 23 years now? Is that
Yeah, 23 plus, yeah.
23 plus years in the industry, and it's got to be something that becomes a passion. Obviously, anything you can do for that long, but you really enjoy what you're doing because you're building.
It takes a while to learn how to be a good businessman. It takes a while to learn how to do the trades for one.
Sure.
But then it's not always easy. So yeah, to get this far and to be where we are is quite an accomplishment for us.
Well, like you said, 23 years in business now, going on 24. You moved here to St. Louis area. You've been here for all that time, I guess, and decided this is where you wanted to do things.
Oh man, O'Fallon area I really enjoy it. St. Charles County is awesome. We service the entire metro area, but we really love it in St. Charles County.
Well, like I said, long time doing this, and what is it about this that really fuels your passion? What is it you enjoy most about? Is it seeing that finished job when you've got somebody's house that you just put together for them, and it turns out looking great?
There's a whole lot about a man likes to look back and see where he's been, you know.
Okay.
And when we do something that we remodel a house, and it's just beautiful when it turns out, it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. And but yeah, I just love construction business all the way around, to be honest. So we concentrate on insurance claims mostly. Okay. We've got a really good reputation with a lot of insurance companies around town, and we used to advertise a lot more than we do now, Carter, because we needed to build ourselves or establish ourselves in the community. And through a lot of the charities that we do, a lot of the work that we've done, a lot of the work that we've done right and well, it's repeat business now. So that was our original business model is build some customers, keep them. And that's the thing, that's the niche. You know, a lot of people like to travel with storms and stuff. But that's not what we're after. We're after repeat business.
Yeah, it seems that there's so much. A lot of people, it's almost lost. It seems on our culture today, in that do the job correctly, do it right, build a reputation for yourself, and then the business will come therefore after, right?
Yes.
I know when I started this whole thing, I'd been out in the community for some 20 years doing my stuff, and if I hadn't had that kind of background supporting me and the people that kind of knew what I was about, is that what you're saying? You've had good fortune to kind of develop a good reputation, and now people follow you and business comes to you.
It does. My dad told me years ago. He said, do things right, and you don't have to chase it near as hard. He said, do it right, and people will come to you. He said, Billy, don't try to get rich overnight.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. He said, take your time, do things right, and before you know it, instead of you working for the business will be working for you.
I like the way you said that. Yeah, take note of that one, everybody. You got the pencil here we told you about. But we say, we want you to notice this, so take note. Do things right, and the business will come to you.
That's right.
Do things right, and life is a lot easier for you. I don't know how many people, they just want to cut corners, just halfway get there, and it's like, now you just wasted your time. You got to do it over anyway, and you didn't get the job done. You're going to lose a client by doing it. You're going to burn the reputation going the wrong direction, doing things that way, right?
That's right.
Well, what do you think is the one thing of all you've put together to help build your business? Is there one thing that has helped you to stand out that you guys do better than the rest? I'm looking at your website and your social media. You're looking classy all the way around. You've got everything really well represented.
I spent a year. That's a good question, Carter. Thank you. I appreciate that question, because I spent a year in Wisconsin working for another company and learning to do the roofing business up there. And in Wisconsin, the temperatures are so much more extreme. Especially in the wintertime. It's not as hot, I guess, but in the wintertime, so when it becomes October, if you haven't done your work right, you're not going to get another chance to do it because it's going to get so cold.
Right.
Okay. So I learned to do roofing in that very difficult, inclement weather. And so the things I learned there, I brought to Missouri, because here, the roofs, for one, the amount of material and the way that you apply it is different, but I brought those standards down here, and we apply those to these roofs here, and we end up with a much better product. And we've done that for years, and I think in some areas now it's code. So
it's a matter of you kind of learned from a harsher climate up there,
Yeah.
and said things got to be built a little more sturdy, a little more planning goes into that, I would imagine too. And just when that all together made for a better product. And
Made for a
just
better product.
We're going to
It
bring
really
that here to
did.
St. Louis. That's what you get when you
Really
use
did.
Barry Construction.
we did the same thing. When the hurricanes hit in Florida, I have businesses down there that call me and ask me to come down and help them with the catastrophe that's going on. Whether it's we went to Sanibel Island this last hurricane, which I guess was Ian, and we went to Sanibel Island and volunteered there and helped clean out some businesses and stuff like that. And but anyhow, while I'm down there, when I go down there for the hurricanes, I'll work for a really good local company down there that. And so the roofing in that climate is a whole lot different than it is here, because there's hurricane codes down there. So all those things together have made me pretty good at how to put a roof on and be actually really good at it, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the time you've been through a few hurricanes, I mean, we don't deal with hurricanes. We have tornadoes, but not everybody gets. I did get a little kind of the edge of a tornado here. Put somebody's chimney over in my house in the front yard, would land into my front yard. But I'd say, but if you're building construction, starting from scratch with regard to, and you're doing hurricane quality level, because there's just higher standards. I understand that they have to have those there.
The amount of permits you need to pull down there, and the standards, the hurricane standards, like you say, the hurricane codes are very high. And but once you've learned to do business like that, I did it in Wisconsin, I did it in Florida, temporarily for other companies, but that taught me that I really knew how to do these things. And but once you've learned to do that, work under those conditions, bringing it here in this environment is a lot easier, and we put on a great product.
Well, that's what we talk about. We put on the hat when you start talking about how you're doing things to improve the community and make a little better place for everybody.
Like it.
So that's what the Cowboy stands for. That's what we want to emphasize here as part of our show. You've got some excitement going on here. I've got a list of questions I go through, but I wanted to move this one up. You said, Carter, you're the pro. You decide. I said, well, we need to talk about this a little earlier on in our discussion, because what do you do to contribute to the community? You've got a big event you've put together coming up here. This is pretty exciting. It's a big name musicians. You're a musician yourself. You start off with your dad as a kid.
Sure.
Tell me about the background there a little bit and why you decided to put together this customer appreciation event you've got. We're going to put this up for everybody to take a look at.
Thank you. Like I said, you build a business one customer at a time. we have built a few thousand customers, and I wanted to thank them. I'm in the music business. I'm in and around the music industry. I've done some stuff in Nashville. I've got some people and friends in Nashville. I've done some recording in Nashville. Obviously, I'm not that great a singer, or I'd be out there famous, Carter, but I'm not.
Sure. That's
But
a tough
everybody
business.
has their place, and I play my music. I do a lot of writing, so I have a great time with it. But with that said, it's a customer appreciation party. I want to thank everybody for their business and their for over the last 20 years. So we sent out a few thousand free tickets to all my customers.
Wow.
And yeah, so they're all coming. And then with that said, it's our headliner is Artemis Pyle Band. Okay, he's the last surviving member of Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Right, I'm gonna put this up on the wall for everybody to
Yeah.
take a look at here. Here's the information about it. You could probably scan that QR code there. But yeah, talk a little bit about the guys you got playing with you. That's some big names.
Yeah. So Artemis Pyle, they're the headliner, and the Artemis Pyle Band doing Lynyrd Skynyrd. He was the original and he's the last surviving member of Lynyrd Skynyrd. He has a great story that he likes to tell. That he doesn't like to tell, but he what happened when he crashed when Ronnie Van Sant passed away. He actually had to fight for a mile or two to get to a farmer's house to let them know that the plane was out there, was crashed and burning. So, but the farmer came out and was scared because he's all bloody and all of that, and shot him.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy or what?
Wow.
But yeah, so that's a crazy story of his survival and how he did that. And now he's out touring and doing the Lynyrd Skynyrd music. And but that was a story that really touched me. And the idea of Roseberry being the customer appreciation party is because my dad and his best friend would go around the community singing, playing for free. They would do social events. They would do charity events very often in and around the several counties there in Kentucky that we're from. And so Roseberry is based on that. And so I thought Artemis Pyle was a great story, so I called my friend Steve Oliver in Nashville. He's Alabama Country Music Hall of Fame last month or two, as a matter of fact. I called and said, who should we bring for this? And he said, call up my friend Artemis. So I'm dropping a few names there, but that's what they were dropped on me. And I'm very glad I did, because they're going to be a fantastic band for us. And then J.T. Hayden, in the vein of it being a local event, and it's about charity and things like that. These guys, J.T. Hayden started right here in St. Charles County.
Okay.
And he has a very successful band, and they're really, really strong. Yankee Barbecue, they're right here in town. They just finished an album.
Really?
They had their album release party last Thursday. But
Okay.
Yankee Barbecue, those guys are fantastic. They're going to be there. Like I mentioned, Steve Oliver, he'll be there. Steve Oliver, I think, he signed with the RCA 20-some years ago. Ran with Vern Gosdin. Nikki, his duet partner on that, she was former lead singer for Highway 101 and had 6 number ones.
Holy cow.
So that's a nice combination there, and they're going to have a band there. And then I'm going to play.
right.
And,
You better.
Yeah, I'm going to get out there and play. And so we've got quite a lineup. Starts at first band. The gates open at 4 on September 6th. What's that? That's a Friday. That's gates open at 4, and then the first band, which will be Yankee Barbecue, will start at 5 p.m.
There it is, September 6th. And you've recorded a couple albums too, right?
I have.
A little bit. So that's got, not just some guy just joining in, hoping they'll pay
Well, it's
attention.
funny because that guy, Steve, called me and said, Billy, I heard one of your songs on CD Baby or something like that. It was
Okay.
a small, it was before social media was quite as big. I went down there to see him, and I sat down and played a little music for him. He said, yeah, that's okay. He said, I don't think it's anything I can use. And I didn't realize it, but I'd lost my credit card.
Uh-oh.
And so after he told me that he didn't think my music was the best in the world, and he couldn't use any of it, couldn't record any of it, I had to borrow some money from him to get home.
But he obliged.
He did, and to be honest with you, we've been best friends ever since.
Well, that's pretty cool, because there's so much that we all. I mean, how many people aspire to have the opportunity to play music, much less with some big name bands, and then put it together as a tribute to all of your clients who've been there for so many years and customers that you've been fortunate to work with, and it's pretty neat just to kind of make that all come together. Real community going on here.
It is. It's really nice, and I'll tell you, Carter, several of my customers have bought 2 and 3 times from me.
Oh wow! Okay.
And I really want to give back in a situation like that because those guys have really been loyal to me, and I just want to show them some appreciation.
Well, that's what it's about. Like we say, if you do a good job, things go your way, and it's just worth doing the extra to get there. Excellence. Here's another quote. Tell me if you appreciate this one or understand. Excellence is achieved by doing a little bit more. How often do we get so far we're like, okay, I'm worn out, I'm done, we'll finish it up tomorrow. But if you just take that little extra step to put a little bit extra in, that's where excellence comes in. And that's what you guys have attained.
I believe that's true. I also believe that there's no substitute for experience.
That's right. You got a great quote there, too.
There's no substitute for experience. And experience leaves you in a spot where you could, your work comes out great. If you really know what you're doing, you can foresee the problems. It's like that roof we're doing today, as a matter of fact. I sent you those pictures. I don't know if you loaded them or not.
Yeah, we got
the roof we're doing today, as a matter of fact. And it took about 3 weeks to plan this job because it's just, well, everything that could be difficult about a job is on this job.
Yeah, I'll put this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Take a look at here. This is a very large roof. We got it live up on the screen. Everybody take a look at it.
Yeah.
Tell me about what was difficult about this and what you were doing to make sure.
Well, it's got everything that makes our job hard, but makes us stand out because we're good at taking care of it. For example, down here is a swimming pool, okay? Obviously, you don't want to get debris in a swimming pool, but the biggest thing about the swimming pool is if you get a nail in there and you miss it somehow, a nail you can miss really easy, it rusts in the bottom of the pool, and you got a really big problem.
Okay, yeah.
So the big protection thing there with all the landscaping and the air conditioning unit down here, you've got to cover all that, but you can't leave it there for very long because then you'll burn the landscaping up.
Yeah, and then here's the front of that house.
Yeah.
And quite a bit here. These are some drone shots you got here. Those look pretty good.
Yeah.
So tell me what's going on here and why this job.
Well, you see how the guys tied off up here.
Right, that's a steep roof, isn't it?
Yeah, that's OSHA requirements. That's very steep. And that's also about 26 feet off the ground.
Oh, wow.
And maybe 30 where he is. And then you've got the concrete, the padded, you got the concrete pads to worry about. So all the material had to be put on the ground so that the crane wasn't too heavy to put it on the roof and break all the concrete. And then you've got the boom lift over here. We're using it. We had to mark all the places in the yard where the sprinklers are so the boom lift doesn't drive over the right spot.
Right.
It goes on and on, but it's a very difficult job. But these are pictures that we took of it this morning. Just one of my guys checking in with me, and I was glad I had those to talk about with you this morning.
Yeah, let's just talk about some of the scale. You do large roofs like this, and you do small roofs. Do you do any commercial work? What is your specialty?
We do some commercial work. This past year, we're probably doing 3 times how much commercial work that we usually do because we had a lot of storms.
Right.
And these commercial buildings have been up for 25 or 30 years. So you need a whole lot of experience when you come in to work on one of those. And so we do some coatings, some foam coatings. We do a lot of shingle roofs as well. But yeah, it's residential and commercial.
Okay. Well, that takes me to my next question here. I'm gonna shoot out back to the wide shot again here with our little Insta360 camera. It's a 4K camera too. Looks great. But you can see here on the wall then, 4.8, 179 reviews. You've done some work there that people appreciate because you've got so much going on here. And you got people they've written 120 reviews all the way to people just written run reviews.
Let Miss Dolores here at the top. Now,
okay.
Now that I see her, she just wrote that the other day, and I haven't had a chance to respond to her. Super nice lady. And we just finished her roof, and she called and said, well, it's leaking. And I said, well, Dolores, that wouldn't make any sense, but I'll be there tomorrow.
All right.
So I made it out there the next day. I walked the roof, and there was nothing wrong with it. I said, Dolores, there's nothing wrong with the roof. She goes, well, I think I have a leak. I said, okay. So we scheduled for the next day to come back with another one of my project managers and one of the smaller guys that could climb up in the attic space to see what's going on.
Okay.
Well, it actually turned out to be some running paint stains that she had many years prior to that, but it wasn't wet and wasn't any leak.
Gotcha.
But that was our customer service, was to take care of her and give her some relief. You know, some. She was worried about it.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. But she says, my experience has been a positive one.
Yeah.
When I had a question, Mr. Berry came out and sent his project manager out to reassure me. I appreciate it and fully. I will never incur storm hail damage again. If I should, I would not hesitate to use these services. They are local, family owned, which is a big plus. Yeah. So it looks like she really did appreciate what you're doing there.
She did. She's such a nice lady.
Yeah, I can imagine she probably didn't notice because that roof looked nice, new and clean. She didn't notice the little dried paint from previous, and now she did because everything was cleaned up to look easy for her to see.
Exactly.
Okay, that's dynamite. Well, that's what we're looking for. And if you've got these kinds of reviews, everybody, take the time to get these reviews. I don't know if you have to ask for these or how you get them, but it's worth getting reviews from people because this is what people look at. When you've got 179 of them, how long, what kind of period of time did it take you to accumulate that many reviews?
Well,
would you say, Billy?
I was one of the people that said, this internet thing, I'm not worried about that. Advertising, I don't need to worry about that. I've been around that long. But you sold Yellow Pages at one time, didn't you?
Yeah, I've worked for the Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages. Well, I bought many ads from the Yellow Pages.
Sure.
And about the time the transition from Yellow Pages to internet was going on, I was still in the Yellow Pages.
Right.
So I didn't get into internet advertising and the website and building all that till about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And then I didn't get serious about it till about 5 years ago.
Gotcha. All right.
I was tired of seeing everybody else popping up on my screen. So I said, how are they doing this? But yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah, well, you've done well. The website looks dynamite. I'll zoom back out here, and we can show you. Here is Billy's website. But you talk about just people doing good work and making things look good. This is a good-looking website, and how many people take a look at this and they make a decision. We're going to recommend you take this. You've got a YouTube video on the front of your page that you understand how important video can be.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We're getting ready to have this one up there soon.
And I said this one will be the next one up there, and this is a little bit more because it ends up being on ABC, and there where you get a lot of it. And then it linked to your reviews and just some great looking work, some more video, but overall it's great. You get the A+ rating on the BBB, and easy to reach you. Phone number right up there up front for everybody to see you. You've learned a little bit about how to do this internet marketing thing. It's catching on, they say.
It is. I would just wish I hadn't been so stubborn about it, you know.
Okay.
I guess, you know, and like we'll have this video here from doing this with you. This would be a great thing. We're going to put it out everywhere, and we just know how strong that is. It really delivers the message.
Well, that's great to hear you say, because we knew that was the case, and we knew this was something that could really help some of the small businesses in the area to get the name out. Because it's tough to compete with these big guys, and they put tons of stuff out there and all kinds of video and all kinds of stuff, big time commercials. But the concept here is, everybody, let us produce a show with you, and we cut it up into clips for you, and then put those on this new thing called your social media, and that'll help you to get your word out, because now people are going to see, oh wait, we missed the interview, it aired on ABC, but you get to see this afterwards, and we're 99.9%.
I'll plug the company that's working for me now. Is Zoplex is the name of it.
Okay.
Zoplex. Zoplex.
Okay. Hadn't heard of them, but yeah.
Yeah, Tom over at Zoplex. They're really doing a great job for me, and they'll take this and they'll put it on to social media, on Facebook,
right,
Instagram, all of those things. I mean, obviously I'm showing my ignorance about it because I still don't know everything about it, but they do.
That's right.
And that's fine. So they'll take and spread it out to all those things, and that's going to help me, build my customer base. We do a lot of work in Chesterfield, Wildwood, Baldwin, Kirkwood, Crestwood, those areas. We do a lot of work in Florissant, Hazelwood, but reaching out to those areas takes time to build, and this is going to help us do that as well. But we service a lot of those areas. Yeah,
and I'd say it sounds like those guys are on the ball, and you want to target specifically. You'll put posts out pertaining to those particular regions and say, hey, if you're in Baldwin, here's some work we've done in Baldwin. Show a little bit about that. Show this clip that came up with your interview on ABC. But then the social media side of it too. And when you put it all together, it is a lot. You've kind of acknowledged this is something you wish you'd have jumped into a little bit sooner.
Oh, for sure.
But it's a lot, and you've managed to do well, and especially with 179 good reviews, 4.8. What do you think about doing this internet thing has really changed the way your business has gone?
I think that I started doing a TV commercial about 6 or 8, maybe 10 years ago, 6 or 8 years ago, TV commercial, because I shot some videos. You can go to, I'll plug my country music video. Billy Berry Built to Last, like the Ford.
Okay.
Billy Berry Built to Last.
I like it.
You go on there. It's one. Steve, the guy I told you in Nashville, he called me and said, Billy, I'm coming to your house in Kentucky and shoot that video. So that's me singing the song. I recorded it in Nashville with some top of the line people, Grammy winners actually.
Wow.
And Steve came to my house. Remember Steve that sent me home?
Okay.
I had to borrow money from. Well,
okay.
He called me and said, Billy, I'm coming to your house in Kentucky. Be ready. We're going to shoot that video for that song.
Nice.
So that's where that came from. But so in doing that kind of stuff, I was kind of comfortable doing a TV commercial and things. So I got into doing some of that, and then doing this type of show with you. I'm a little nervous, so nobody sitting here wouldn't be a little bit,
Sure.
but I feel pretty good about it, and people really get to see who you are, know who you are this way.
Yeah, that's why we want to give people not just a short clip, but a full interview. We're going to give Billy 2 half-hour, 2 28-minute, 30-second interviews here because he really gets to go into the depth of what he's doing about it. He also had such a cool event that he's putting together for his customer appreciation again, and that just to me is when you're going above and beyond. You're not just the guy trying to make it. You've already kind of made it, and now you're really trying to give back to the community a little bit.
We do that in a lot of ways. Exactly. Sorry, I didn't interrupt, Carter, but
Yeah.
but we give to the schools. We give to the Wounded Warriors. We have a few other places that we try to be consistent and help. And this customer appreciation party, we rented Rotary Park. It's a big park.
I've been there.
Yeah, and we got the St. Charles County Fair board to let us use their parking. Of course, we had to rent it from them, but that's fine. Great folks out there. It took us a while to get everything worked out because they were very concerned about the size of the crowd that was coming. And so I said, well, let me call the St. Charles County Fair. So we got all of their parking. So we're ready for a lot of people. And it's Eventbrite. Of course, I don't know if that logo or whatever it was you were showing there earlier.
Yeah, we got I'll throw that up there for everybody to take a look at again. But the QR code is on there for everybody can see that. We'll see if that pops up. But zoom in there. You should be able to scan that.
Yeah.
I could even test it here if we can do it here. But yeah, that QR code there, everybody, take a look. And if not, they can get to this through your social media, through your website, I would imagine. Yep, there it is. And I click on it. And I'll pop back out to my.
Yep. That's eventbrite.com. It's
yeah.
Roseberry.
There it is. So I did is I scanned that QR code. It's right there on the wall, like you guys can do it now on your screen. I can rewind here a second. You'll see it. And it's getting me right to the Eventbrite, and I can get here, click here, and say.
And it's 5 bands for $25. You can't beat it.
It's $5 a band. I pay $10 cover charge. A lot of people charge. They let me in free most times at all the venues because they like me to promote them a little bit.
Well, sure.
And just save yourself, get it all at once, and then lots of fun, and you're going to have a blast there going out to this event. Yeah. All right, so we got just about a minute left here. We might start this last question for this half hour here, and finish it up on the second half, depending how quickly you can answer this for me. But tell me, what is one big mistake? Everybody loves this question. What's a big mistake a consumer makes when they're going through a construction, a rehab, a new roof? What is the mistake that most people make? And I know a lot of times when you got insurance companies involved, there's a lot to be said there that who wants to deal with the insurance companies? So now I've taken up the entire show asking the question. So tune into the second show here, everybody. Coming up, this will be on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night likely, and you get to see the answer to that question here in just a minute. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned. Giddy up.